Hi everyone, it's Lori-Lynn, Spirit Within Us, and welcome again. Thank you for coming to see what Spirit has to say. I am just going to be doing one single again on the cards that I pulled last evening. So I say I pull the cards in the evening and I just allow them to settle in. I don't look at them until I've actually drawn them. So I just use whatever messages that Spirit brings. I can say from a meditation that I did the other day that I do know that Spirit is around a lot. So remember that. I think there's a lot of people that are feeling, I'm going to say the crunch, or I'm going to light my candles at the same time. Sorry. There's a lot of people that are feeling different things at this time. It's not that easy. And as somebody said yesterday, people keep saying we're all in the same boat. And the truth is that we're all in the same storm. We're not in the same boat. And everyone has different circumstances, and each circumstances are unique. Even where I am working, there are some that are just working incredibly hard, way more work. And that's because of this pandemic and not being able to go in. So she has to work an incredible amount of hours. And so I'm very grateful. I wish that I could help. And I just do my thing and try to make it easier on as many people as I can. So I'm willing to help out at any point. There seems to be at this time, and it's not, maybe it's just a new change because we just started the first phase, I guess phase one, going back into work, some people, and maybe a little bit more of opening up. And it's important to protect your energy, to know your energy, to always keep in mind your part and to be responsible for every aspect. So it doesn't really matter what somebody else is doing, it's what you're doing. What are you doing to protect yourself? Because you cannot guarantee that someone else is going to protect you. I was just in one of the stores and there was a grandma with her little girl, our granddaughter, I guess, and the granddaughter was all dressed up, bundled up, which is great, except for it's not that cold out. And the thing was, then the little girl coughed. And so you think, well, you hope that that doesn't spread. But if you are wearing your gloves, if you're being diligent, or if you have protective gear, we just all have to, we are all connected. So we all have to do our own part, and in being responsible, 100% responsible for ourselves. The other day, I have a lot of allergies, and so that's a big part of it. And so the other day I was feeling kind of under the weather, I would say, and I knew it was my allergies, and I woke up and I was really coughing. And I used sort of the Ho'oponopono, and along with the tapping, and I just kept repeating over and over and over, I love you, please forgive me, I am sorry, and thank you, and over. It's funny, and I did it the whole way out to where I was going, which is about an hour long, and I haven't had that cough since. So we really need to do our part, protecting ourselves, that energy around us, that making sure that we have, I would say at all times, that blue energy, that just surround yourself with that and call in your, healers that can assist, because they really are within you, but we have to call on them. I don't think they're all necessarily going to come uninvited. Sounds weird, but it's really to call them in. And so to make sure that you are protected, that you are continually cleansing and healing all the time, so that you're safe for yourself, for your family, and for other people, so that we can move forward in this whole pandemic. Okay, so These are the cards that I picked last night that got to sit out in the moonlight. And, okay, so the first card, which is the unknown. And I guess that's just what I was talking about, was as we move forward, really there is so much the unknown. But if we apply and ask for what our intention is, for what we want and how we want to build from here on in, and then just allow. And so the card says, I bow to the infinite intelligence of the cosmos and my next steps are revealed. So really, truthfully, honestly, believe deep down within that your next steps will be revealed as we move along. But that's having complete trust and faith. So we asked, and so now we're sitting in that area of the unknown, and that's okay. And maybe this is a huge part of what is going on with this pandemic, is there's so much unknown, but maybe part of that is that so many people don't have that faith and that trust in a higher power, or in the powers that may be, in the power within ourselves. They may not have enough confidence to trust that it's going to be okay. My mother is probably the biggest supporter of that. She completely trusts in most instances. She's not perfect, but she really does. She's taught me so much about trusting in the universe, in that divine higher spirit. Okay, so the next card that comes out is Loving from the Inside. And this is actually one of my favorite cards because it's so beautiful. And I love the idea. And it's that we glow from the inside, not from outward in. We glow from inner to outer. And so the greatest blessing that we can give ourselves is to give yourself the gift of your own presence, and that's to love ourselves. And so in the morning, make sure you're setting your intention that you have whatever blessing it is that you need to be grateful for your day. And again, at the end of the day, doing that so that you're cleansing and you're clearing and that you're emanating that energy of love and of forgiveness and forgiving and for gratitude. And so sometimes that's to be a little bit more quiet, but you want to connect with people in that space. So love from the inside. Our beauty is within ourselves. It's not outside of ourselves. It's not makeup, and it's not haircuts, and it's not colors of hair. During this time, I have cut my own hair twice. One of my best friends used to be my hairdresser, and she used to shake her head, but I literally just chopped it off. Doesn't matter to me, because it's what's inside that's most important. And so I kind of just go to the beat of my own drum, and that's sort of what this is about. It's about loving yourself, knowing that our true beauty is within us. It's inside of us all. And it's not something that's exterior, although we can match that, and your beauty is going to show from what you're feeling and the messages that you tell yourself. I have been doing affirmations every single day because I do spend a lot of time by myself right now. So I've been doing these affirmations every single day to remind myself how much I love myself, and to keep that energy, that glow, that moving forward. And so I just make sure you have a routine going. Like my routine personally in the morning is, my blessings, my prayer, and I've started my new routine of exercise. It only takes, 5 to 10 minutes, but that's just the first part of it. I mean, I get exercise during the day, but those exercises are to open up chakras and to keep myself clear and to keep myself healthy, so that within me will radiate outwards. Okay, so the next card, this is the second. Again, we got this again, and it's Life Review. And this card of life review has come up so many times in the last little while. And perhaps because we have so much time in our mind, that is to look back at our life review. So it's in a position that's saying that may be a challenge or a something that is really needed to go back on to see the lessons and the love and all of the gains that you've made. Whereas sometimes we look back and we all we see is negativity, or we see the, where we've made the mistakes. And the honesty is that the mistakes, the things that we need to let go of, that's why we do a life review, to go back and say, you know what, that's what held me back. So I need to release this now so that I can move forward fully in the light of who I really, really am, truly. And on the other side is the card, it's a chakra clearing. And that's what I had talked about before. And so I just honestly, truthfully, really very much believe in chakra clearing. And I do this every day. I have a couple methods, and one is a quick method and one is a longer method, which is can take me 3 seconds to do, and it's also one that I do before my readings or meditations or hypno meditations. And when I come into contact with others, and so because you want to keep all of your chakras aligned and vibrating. And so that's the other reason for doing my morning exercises, because they are intended to help open the vortexes and to keep everything spinning regularly, properly, openly, and always releasing what's not necessary anymore. So, and it could be from yesterday, you might have learned one thing, and so that's okay, now it's gone. I don't need to know any more about that anymore. Let it go. And always be present in this exact moment now, today. And which kind of brings to the next card, which is the card of intent. And so I love that she's holding a crystal ball, because she's looking at this crystal ball and she knows her future. And she knows that she has this amazing power. And that power is in being able to rely on herself, to focus her energy, and setting a strong intention aligned with where you want to be, who you want to be, how you want to be. Answering those questions, create. So spend the time at this place creating. So just set that intention, know that intention fully, and put it out into the universe. So the next 3 cards are from the tarot deck. Okay, so the first card is the Queen of Wands. The second card is the Page of Swords. And the fourth card is the Seven of Pentacles. So with the Queen of Wands, this is somebody that takes action. She also has proven herself. And so whether this be yourself, if you're a female, or somebody that you're with, that's a female in your life, but she has taken those steps, or you have taken those steps to be courageous, and understanding that gentleness is always also required. And so the Queen of Wands just knows what she wants, and she's not forceful in bringing it, manifesting it. She's very gently allows it with pride and with strength. And the next card becomes the Page of Swords. And so the Page of Swords, I do believe in this sense, is saying, be careful of the messages that you're telling yourself. And so often the pages are about messages that come forward. And this is indirectly the same thing, but what it's about is the messages that you are telling, that you are reinforcing yourself. It's just saying, it's a reminder to you to be conscious of your messages, the messages that you're telling yourself, and to make sure that that's what you want. And if any message, if you turn around, I had a friend come over the other day, and I don't know why this was on this one day, but every time I looked in the mirror, I went, ugh. And I'm not even sure why, but I did. I was just like, yuck. And each time I did that, I went back to my mantra. And I kept saying, like, why am I doing this? And you know what? You're going to have some days that just aren't the best of days. And so that's okay. And let yourself off the hook. And then always go back. So if you ever catch yourself telling yourself those messages that are just not true, well, correct them and go back to that place where you want to set your intentions, knowing who you want to be and where you want to go. And the third card is the Seven of Pentacles. And so the Seven of Pentacles, sevens are about knowledge. And so perhaps at this time, it's knowing where best to spend your energy, where best to what is knowing best how to bring, I say, money forward, because a lot of us are scared about where your next dime is going to come. And so learning, knowledge is so important. So perhaps right now it's a time to learn more, so that actually I just was told that somebody will present an offering to you, or you will present an offering to somebody else. There seems to be two people that are going to be working together, and it's through either work or in a new environment that's coming. But it's a partnership, and it's I don't know what, to be honest, I don't know what cows or bulls. Oh, okay. Well, I do now. Okay. So part of this is that there's somebody that's maybe a little bit stubborn. And so that's where we have to learn more, to understand more, and then make the decision from the now, from here. And if they're going to be stubborn, maybe look within and see where that stubbornness is. And then you can also do the Ho'oponopono. Always, I just starting with this, but I have found such power within that, and that connection with the divine, and being grateful and showing gratitude. So the next three cards are from the Patch Tarot. And so the card that clarifies the Queen of Wands is the Two of Discs. And so this card is really about change and finding the balance. The balance of the yin and the yang, the symbols of the yin and the yang are there. But what balances you? Who balances you? And being very conscious when energy comes in, or with people that you meet, knowing that they balance you and not take too much for you. Or sometimes people also often give as because that's how they believe that where their worth is from. And so it's really trying to find that balance. So this Queen of Wands taking this action, knowing what she wants. So when you know what you want, you set your intention, making sure that everything that comes in, things will start to change when you make sure that whatever's coming into your life is balancing, and then you're releasing what is necessary as well. So the card that, clarifies the Page of Swords is the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups, being in that position. And I do believe this again, she's a very reflective queen. And so her reflection, wow, I just saw it within this and I've never seen it before. She goes into that and really nurtures her child self. I don't know if you can see it in there, but there's a baby there that I've never seen before. So this is really about nurturing that child self. And so when we're remembering the messages, because it's clarifying the Page of Swords, and those are the messages, but changing the messages. And I think I'm positive I talked about this last week. It's up to you to change the messages that you hear, that you tell yourself. And once you become 100% responsible for your life, or for knowing that you're responsible for your life, that's when change happens. And that's when we come from that place of love. And the card that clarifies the Seven of Pentacles is the Ten of Discs. And the Ten of Discs is the legacy card. That's the coming of together. That's it means that change is moving you forward, moving us forward. Maybe this is as a society, but it's really aligning ourselves up. And so we're always looking towards how we want others to see us, but there's another way of thinking it, and I can't. How we want to present ourselves, how we want people to accept us. And we're not responsible for them, but what we can do ourselves is ensure that we're always pure and always coming from that place of honesty and truth, and knowing what we truly want within. And so connecting with that, and chakras again are super, like the card under the Seven of Pentacles is directly the chakra clearing. So it's from the chakra clearing to the Seven of Pentacles, and that's the knowing, and that's the gaining of knowledge, and having the ability to discern. And then we have this Ten of Discs, which is also because we had the card of the life review as well. So that connects with the card of the Ten of Discs, because the Ten of Discs looks back and says, this is how I want to be remembered. And it doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are, you can always have that message within yourself. How do I want to be remembered? And move towards that sense. Okay? And so the next cards that I picked were from my deck. And the first card, which is the universal lesson, is the card of vibrancy. And that's what we were talking about in regards to chakra clearing, and to knowing exactly how we want to present ourselves to others, how we want others to see us, to connect with us, and what is the vibrancy that we want to manifest into bringing back into our lives. And so that's through clearing our chakras, and then just radiating that outwards and connecting it with our soul star, and with the connection with the divine, or the creator. And so that we have that pure spirit. All is life. Life is energy. Raise your vibrancy to a level that brings forth new possibilities. Because that does seem what this is much about, are new possibilities. A change can occur if you allow a change to occur in your life at this time. Okay, so the change you need to go back to, this is the shadow self, and it's the wisdom of the sheep. And the sheep is all about purity and about innocence. So this is taking you back to that purity, to that innocence, to those places that may have impacted your internal messages. And sometimes, and it may be heightened at this point, but there are times when we really feel that we are alone, and probably no time more than right now. But maybe within that aloneness, you're meant to learn something. and to clear that and to work on yourself so that you understand and know that you're not alone and that the person that needs to love you most is you. And begin working towards that and feeling that. So the card of, wow, the reveal self is the wisdom of the hummingbird. And so there has been a lot of change within you, within a relationship. That could be business, that could be with a partner, a loved one. And really it's for this relationship is on a new pathway because you have found that ability to heal. You have found the ability to find the joy, the happiness, and the love. You've gone through a lot. So instead of, it's funny, it comes after the legacy too. So instead of sitting back and saying, you know, I'm here, you know, I'm happy, blah, blah, blah. It's recognizing that you have endured a lot and you're doing great. And so be joyful, be happy, be, you know, grateful for all of that and allow. It can also be a symbol that there is a loved one that's around, or not just one, there could be several, but there's a loved one around that I would say has recently passed that is bringing you joy, just reminding you of that joy, of those times, and to sit within that joy and be really, really happy. They're so grateful for the journey that you've traveled and how far you've come. Very proud of you. Okay, wow. So I have the next two cards, which this card usually has one meaning, but in this situation, it has a different meaning. So I've got the spirit of the earth, and then I have the warrior of fire. And so these two cards with today's readings are about relationship. And it's on one side, somebody that is very charismatic, but very gentle, kind. It's the female side. It's very that really connects well with her femininity. And on the other side is the warrior of fire. Now, the female part in that may just be sitting back and setting the intention on this warrior of fire, who can be very passionate, creative, and charming. And he needs to make a move. And so even if that's just within friendship or to do with work, I don't know. But there is a sense that this person is, that the female side is just very gentle, very kind. And he sees that kindness within that person. And he's watching from afar and needs to make the move, which is going to, perhaps he's afraid of it, which in most normal circumstances, I don't think that he is. I think he shows himself off as confident, but he really is restless within this relationship at this point. So whoever this part, I just get a feeling that whoever's within this part is very specific to one person or to a couple of people, and that there's a relationship that needs to be come to fruition, and maybe that's the intention of these people, and he's the one that needs to make the move. He needs to make the move because he's watching from afar, and so it's time to get off your arse. And it may be just because this person is so, the female side is so attractive to him, but the understanding is that she's attractive because what's inside of herself, and that is what is causing the attraction. And it may be, she may be somebody that's very different than what he has experienced or what he does know. And so that's the passion that's there. And so from the Gabrielle Bernstein's deck, the spiritual messages. So the first message to remind, and it's when I'm grateful for what I have, I can feel good along the way to what I desire. And so knowing that we have, when we live in gratitude, that's when we bring forth, that we manifest. And I've said it many times, but what if you woke up every single morning only for those things in which you were grateful for? And we need to show more gratitude for what we have and not the lack of at this point. It's actually really important at this point. So be grateful for all that you have and feel good along the way, no matter where you're at, for what you desire, knowing that you're worthy of. Okay, and the second one is believing in spiritual guidance gives me certainty and the freedom to keep dreaming, even when I can't yet see the result. And there you go. We don't always see what's happening behind the scenes, and that is about faith. And it's about belief, and it's about knowing that we are, that our prayers are answered, knowing that our intentions, that we put our intentions out there and that they're being worked on and worked through, because they may not just involve you, they may involve more than yourself. And so there's sometimes a little bit more work to do. And so this week is going to bring us a full moon, which is interesting because I got Over the Moon was the card that I got today. And so, this goes back to the couple. So within this reading, whoever needs to know these parts of the messages of themselves and another person, whether you're the female or the male side, really this is about spending time visualizing and embracing within yourself that connection. See yourself together. See yourself as you want to. Maybe light a candle. Maybe, get some lavender, some vanilla, some patchouli, sandalwood, and have certain scents around you that really embrace the relationship that you want to have. The full moon is one of the best times of us to send our energies out. It's a time of renewal, of beginnings, and moving forward. So it's a good time for setting intentions. So perhaps spend your time setting some intentions and putting them out there. I think the full moon is on Saturday, if I'm correct. Thursday. Okay, so I'm just going to do 2 more cards. And this is from the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms, and see where we're at. Okay, so what this is the Storm Fields. So what this card talks about is, this is in the space of what you're leaving behind. And so it's seeing the storm differently. So it's leaving behind, it's releasing and letting go of all those things. Like when you're feeling like you're falling apart, you may be falling apart of the things that just aren't worthy of your commitment forward. And so just send those things off and allow the storm fields to take them away. Okay, they're no longer necessary. So sometimes the storm is necessary for you to see and to release what just isn't important in your life anymore. And the challenge, the challenge is a card of the balancing act. And so from there, it's almost like the card of the temperance, and that's of balancing. And so perhaps you're having some difficulty at this time balancing everything, because so many of us aren't on a particular schedule. Maybe what you need is a schedule, and whether it's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, the whole week schedule, so you know what's going on. Like, know those things that are important, and so you can almost have two lists: the one of what's really important and other things that you would like to accomplish, and then if you can fit them all in, but always doing the things that are most important. And so to create, and that's mind, body, spirit, and your connection to higher guidance, okay? So that's the challenge at this point. And back to, wow, is the card of education. So right now, what seems that's important is learning. Again, we had the card of knowledge before, and this is about education. And so looking with this is spending the time. It's a very, very beautiful card, very interesting. If you look within that, she has her book open, and there's magical fairies, and then there's the stork. Stork? Is that what they're called? It's not a stork, it's an egret. I believe that's what it's called. And so it's spirits watching for you and will guide you to what you need to learn, okay? So spend that time. It also seems to be a little bit about maybe reading something that seems a little bit more magical or, nonsensical, if that's a word, and perhaps to just believe in dreams again and believe in that what you truly want in your life and bringing it forward. Okay, so that's what I have for messages today. And I hope everybody is well and having a wonderful day. Namaste, much love, and many blessings to all. And I will see you again.